Hey friends, welcome back to another video in my Building The Sims 2 in The Sims 4 series. So I am in Sulani, which is a little bit different if you've been watching any of my other videos recently in this series, since I've been primarily building in Brindleton Bay for all of the houses that are from Riverblossom Hills. That's the neighborhood in The Sims 2 that I'm working on right now. And yeah, I decided to build this one in Sulani because this house in The Sims 2 is kind of bizarre. It has this very tropical look and feel to it, and it just doesn't really make sense in Riverblossom Hills, and I didn't think it really made sense in Brindleton Bay. So yeah, I decided to build this in Sulani. I thought that would make a lot more sense. And yeah, I think it came together pretty well. It's a very unusual house. It's this sort of like octagonal shape. It's got 2 stories. When I do these, I try to start with the original floor plan and then I kind of go from there. So I started with that. I think the original, it technically had 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom upstairs. But this will have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And then the downstairs is kind of like an open concept with the kitchen and living room and all of that. And I had quite a bit of fun putting this together. I haven't done a lot of building in Sulani, so I should really do that more often. But yeah, this was just kind of a nice change of pace and change of scenery from the other videos that I've been doing. So yeah, hopefully you like it. I used a lot of, island living, of course, all the stuff from that pack. A lot of for rent, just since it has a lot of those sort of Southeast Asian, almost like Polynesian design influences. So yeah, I used a lot of those 2 packs. And yeah, I think I only ended up using like 4 or 5 packs on this one. So yeah, not too many. Hopefully it's easy to download if you want to take a look at it. It is on the gallery if you'd like to download it and play in it. Certainly an interesting house for sure. And I will say I did not playtest this before I uploaded it to the gallery. I don't expect there to be any issues. I tried not to cram things in too much, but yeah, I did not fully test it, so apologies. I don't know, I just kind of forgot about it. I was just kind of in a rush to get things done. So, but yeah, hopefully, it works fine. And yeah, here in this a lower level, I'm kind of starting off with the kitchen over here. Use the kitchen from Island Living. I really love those counters that came with that pack. I just wish they had done actual matching cabinets because they did these sort of like shelf pieces instead, which I think was kind of an interesting way to do it. And I probably wouldn't have been upset with them if they worked together better. But yeah, I don't know, the size and kind of, I don't know, format of these shelf pieces, they don't really work that well together, I found. I don't know. I think if they had given maybe just like a couple more that were just like fully squared off on both ends instead of like an open shelf, or like part of it was kind of like pushed in, I think that those would have been a little bit more usable. But I ended up using the upper cabinets from the For Rent pack, which I think tied in pretty well. They had a pretty close match in wood tone. So yeah, I really like those cabinets too, because they like the different like end pieces have different designs to them. Like the one has the paper towel holder built in, and the other one has like like that kind of open shelf part. I don't know, I think that was kind of an interesting choice to do that. And I also furnished the living room a little bit differently here, so it cuts ahead to where I pulled out everything, and then I'm just kind of rearranging things. So I've done different variations of this where I took all of the pieces that I pulled out of the catalog like out of the house and then placed them. But yeah, this time I decided to just like leave them all in and then rearrange them. So you'll have to let me know if you prefer one way or the other. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like both. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think. I will say this, with it being this shape, like the building being an octagon, it left a lot of room at the front by the like by the front door. So yeah, that space was a little awkward to like furnish, so I wasn't really sure what to do over there. But I do end up adding in a little like dining table toward the back behind the stairs, which I think filled up that space nicely. But yeah, the front is, I don't know, it's probably a little bit too open. I think I moved the stairs up a little bit, which helped. I probably should have moved them up even further. But yeah, I think it worked out okay in the end. And it's so funny looking back at Sims 2 houses like that I've been doing throughout this series, because a lot of times they'll only have furnishings for the kitchen and the bathroom, like the sort of fixtures, that you wouldn't take with you if you moved. So like, the toilet and shower and kitchen counters and all of that. But then other times, like this house, they'll have all of that, but then they'll also have just like 1 or 2 random furniture pieces in each room. So like the upstairs of this house in the Sims 2 version, I think it just had like a single, like a twin bed in the bedroom, and then maybe like a dresser or something. I don't know. It was very odd. And then the downstairs, I think it had like the kitchen counters, and then it had like a single armchair and a bookcase. And I was like, okay, great, thank you. So yeah, this version will be a little bit more furnished for you if you do want to download it off the gallery. But yeah, I just think that's so funny with the Sims 2 builds, how they did that. I guess that's kind of similar to some of the Sims 4 builds that EA has done, where the furnishings are severely lacking. And this exterior wallpaper that I used for the for the build here, it actually matched in pretty well with the Sims 2 version. At least the color. I think the Sims 2 version, it was technically like a bamboo sort of look. But yeah, so the wood and like that sort of color I think worked well. And then I used a lot of like darker wood accents around the build that I thought worked out pretty well. Mostly because that color matched in really well between the like for rent fence that I used and a lot of the other like island living items. So yeah, I think that gave it like a nice contrast, and the tones worked really well together, especially between different packs. Yeah, and upstairs here, like I said, it has the 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So the one bathroom, it's kind of open to the hallway. That's kind of like the main bath for the house. There aren't any bathrooms downstairs. I did try to fit one in, but there wasn't really a good spot for it without like really breaking up the kind of floor plan. So yeah, a little annoying that your Sims would have to like go upstairs to use the restroom, but I think it works out okay. Plus there's like a second bathroom, so should be plenty of toilets and everything for your Sims. And I just kept in the footage of me furnishing one of the bathrooms, just since the other bathroom ended up being almost exactly the same. I think the only difference was like some of the decor pieces that I chose, but you might see that a little bit later on. But yeah, definitely used a lot of island living items in here again, with the shower, and I'll put in that wood tub again here in a second. And yeah, I think those worked out nicely. Since those items are so stylized, I always struggle to put them in builds. But yeah, I think it worked out okay. I found this floor tile. I can't remember which one it is, but it isn't like the default swatch isn't that color. So I never think to use it. I think it's one of the stone floor coverings. But yeah, I think that worked out really nicely. I thought that looked nice. It was like a nice neutral kind of beige. So the kind of more stylized wood tones and everything could really pop in there. So yeah, I think I'll have to use that floor more often, because that's like a really nice kind of neutral bathroom floor. And that's right, I did keep the footage in. I just sped it up way faster, just since it's basically the same thing that I'm doing. The layout's almost the same. It's just a little bit different since the doors on different walls. But yeah, basically just the rug was a little bit different. And also the the roof on the Sims 2 version of this house was so wacky. I don't know. They had to have used like 4 or 5 different roof pieces to make it. I don't know. I can't remember if they just didn't have an octagonal shaped roof. I mean, I think that's very likely that they did not have that. But yeah, it's it's so weird. It's kind of wild that they would try to make an octagonal house like this when they don't have roofs that really work that well with it. Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have just made it a flat roof if I was building this in The Sims 2. So they are, much braver than I am, because I definitely would not have tried to do it that way. And here in this primary bedroom, I used pretty much all island living and for rent pieces in here, which I think worked together really nicely. I don't know. I really liked the look that I ended up creating in this room. It just feels very, I don't know, very calm, very peaceful. I would love to, live on the beach in a house like this. That would be amazing. And with this house, I didn't have any Sims in mind when I was building it, so I tried to keep it fairly neutral. I don't know if neutral is really the right word, but at least usable for, a lot of different Sims. For the kids' bedroom, they got bunk beds, so you could fit, at least 2 kids in here. I did this sort of built-in wardrobe, and then I'll put a desk in between the 2 dressers, which I thought worked out nicely. So yeah, I do use Dream Home Decorator a little bit between like the bunk beds and these built-ins. So yeah, I mean, if you don't have that pack, honestly, I would really recommend getting it. It has a ton of really great build items. If you like to build it all, or even if you don't like to build but you still have to build sometimes, yeah, I think it has a lot of really great pieces in it. So yeah, used the desk in between. I think I actually used a kitchen or a dining table. I think that ended up working better in there. So it does have the only computer in the house in this room. So yeah, hopefully that's, not an issue, but there's probably space to add more computers if you needed to. And of course I had to get some toys in here. I got the activity table, one of the many activity tables that came with this game, or that come with, every single pack. For some reason, I don't know why they love creating those activity tables for kids. It's very interesting. And yeah, that reminds me that I did also try to use Snowy Escape quite a bit in this build. I was hoping that some of those design pieces would work well with like island living and for rent, but they're just not really that similar stylistically. So yeah, I don't think I ended up using that much Snowy Escape. So if you don't have that pack, I don't think it's going to be really a deal breaker or anything. Like pretty much the whole house should still function fine without that. And for this upstairs deck, I forgot about this awning that came with Desert Luxe, I think, the kit. So that worked out really nicely to kind of add some more shade and a little bit more kind of architectural detail to the build. So yeah, I think that worked out nicely. I did try to use some corbels, but they weren't really fitting with the kind of design that I had done for the rest of the house. And I did end up making this back deck quite a bit bigger than the original version of the house, especially since, this is on the ocean. You'd probably want like a nice dock to kind of lay out on and jump off of into the water. So yeah, definitely a larger change from the original, but I think it certainly made sense. And I didn't realize before that, so these boats that came with Island Living, I don't know if I've ever put them on land before. I normally just put them right in the water. So I didn't realize that it actually changes to like being on on these stands when you put the boat on the shore. My mind was kind of blown when I saw that. I didn't even realize that. So yeah, kudos to the Sims team for thinking to do that. I don't know. I was a little astonished by that. I thought that was really cool. And when I was doing this kind of dock and everything, I could have sworn that there were ladders that went into the water, which there are, but I could not figure out where they were or how to find them. I do finally find it here, but at first I was just trying to use the regular ladders that came with I think when Eco Lifestyle came out, when they updated and brought out ladders, I tried to use one of those and that wasn't working. I tried to use a pool ladder. I don't know. I could not figure it out. I thought I was going crazy for a while. So I'm glad that I ended up stumbling upon it later and adding it, because yeah, I don't know. I think they should really have those listed in multiple places. I don't know, maybe like in the ladder section, like with the other regular ladders or something, or with the pool stuff. I think that would have made sense. I don't know. But yeah, just kind of doing some landscaping here. It's fairly minimal. You know, there's obviously not that much land for this lot. So I just really wanted to make sure that it kind of fit into the rest of the world around it. So yeah, very bright, very colorful. I wanted to just make it feel very lush and nice. And then I also added in some gardening pots if you wanted to do some gardening here. I think that would make sense with how nice the weather would be here. And I did use one of the wall mailboxes from Snowy Escape. So that's probably the only thing that you would really need to change. You know, if you don't have that pack, it'll just spawn like a regular base game mailbox, so you might have to move that if you download this. Now I'm just finishing up the build by doing all of the lighting for the lot. And yeah, I did decide to paint the ceilings as well. I always forget to do that. I think most of the time it doesn't really matter that much, you know, especially in just like a regular average suburban home. You know, most of them will have white ceilings, so usually not that big of a deal. But I thought it would make more sense to have more of a wood ceiling in a house like this on the beach. So yeah, got those painted. Also adding in some end tables here that I had forgotten to pull out earlier. So yeah, just kind of doing some final details around as well. But yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. Would you live in an octagonal house like this? It's, you know, kind of odd, but yeah, living on the beach would be really cool. I definitely would. So, but yeah, that's pretty much going to finish it up for me, and then I'll leave you with some screenshots. So I just want to say thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I know there's a million other things you could be doing right now, so it means a lot that you're spending some time watching this silly little video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, that helps a lot, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you so much. Have a great day.